Hello, everyone, and welcome to Soft Tech Services. My name is Jeanette McIver, and today we'll be working with Word tips and tricks. Some of the features that we'll be using is working with styles, working with heading styles. Heading styles are predefined formatting. So, guys, consider if you have a document, and within that document you have main headings and you have subheadings. All of our main headings need to be formatted this way, and subheadings that way. Instead of us manually having to do each one, we use heading styles to do it instead. When you apply a heading style to your document and then you want to go in and modify it, or should you not like the way that it looks, you can go in and modify it. If you have heading style 2 applied 5 times in your document and you modify it, it will update each heading style 2 that's applied within the file. You also have a feature called reveal formatting. Review formatting is very useful when you're looking at a document and you're just not sure how it was formatted. Using the Reveal Formatting tool will give you all the formatting information for selected text. We're going to work with the navigation pane. And in working with the navigation pane, most of us, we just use it to find a word, find a keyword. But the navigation pane can do so much more. So we'll be using some of those bells and whistles. You may have a list that you typed up in your document, and then you realize that you want it in a table format. Instead of having to reproduce it, what we're going to do, we're going to use a feature called text to table. Going to convert your list into a table. You can also quickly move to your last edit, jumping around to your recent edit. That's just by using your keyboard command Shift F5. And the last thing we'll do is use your smart lookup. Your smart lookup, which is ran through Bing, Microsoft Bing, and it gives you information about a keyword that you're looking up, or websites related to that word, or images related to that word. So it's a quick way of gathering information. Guys, I also have listed here our website, SoftTech DC, our YouTube channel, and also, as we move through this, we offer a 6-hour class related to work with the items that I mentioned a moment ago. We also offer a 3-hour class. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump into working with that document and doing some formatting. So this is our document that we currently have. I have my main heading, which is Give Peas a Chance, and I have some subheadings, fertilizing, sowing, so on and so forth. And I need to quickly format this document. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to turn on my show and hide. Turning on your show and hide icon, we get that from our home tab in our paragraph group and our show and hide icon. It gives us paragraph formatting. Anywhere that we have the paragraph marker, which is this little guy here I'm pointing to, that represents any time the enter key was pressed, or the dots between the words, anytime the space bar is pressed. And just moving through the document, my list that I have here just represents this arrow here represents any time the tab key was pressed. Show and hide, these are non-printing characters, so they will not print. I'm just going to do Control Home to move me back up to the top of my document. Now that I want to work with styles, on my Home tab in my Styles group, I'm going to turn on my Styles pane, pointing to the icon now, and it will appear over on the right side of the screen. As far as working with heading styles, you have heading styles 1 through 9. In your list here, you only see up to 3. Once you use heading style 3, then you'll see a 4. Once you use 4, you'll see a 5, so on and so forth. So what I want to do for Give Peas a Chance, I want to apply heading 1. So I'm clicking on that line for Give Peas a Chance, and let's click on heading 1. And guys, see how it formats it for us. Now my subheadings that I have here, fertilizing, just going to click there and going to click on heading 2. Looking for my other headings, sewing, I'm going to click there this time. I'm going to use my keyboard command, which is F4, to repeat my last command. The F4 key repeats your last command. So now I'm looking for my other subheadings that I have here, thinning out, just using F4, protection, just get the rest of these guys here. And now that I'm applying my heading styles to my document, I also want to go in and turn on my navigation pane. And turning on your navigation pane, working from View on your ribbon, and from View on your ribbon coming over to the left side, you're coming over, the group that we want to work with is going to be Show. Within your Show group, we want to get Navigation. And guys, you can see now that in the navigation pane, now that I have heading styles applied, it gives me a list of my headings. And I can click on these headings to quickly move around within my document. With working with the navigation pane as well, you'll see where you have pages. If we click on pages, then it breaks it down into thumbnails. Okay, so we have our various thumbnails. I'm going to go back to headings. And I want to make some modifications. I want to make some modifications to the styles that I applied. I'm going to close the navigation pane just to give me a little more room. What I want to do here, I want to make an adjustment to heading style 2. So I'm just going to click in heading style 2. Now over in your navigation pane, your styles task pane that is, you'll see heading 2. Once you point to it, it'll come in and give you a list of all the formatting applied to heading 2. But we're going to come over for heading 2, we're going to click on the down arrow. And in clicking on the down arrow, I want to go in and modify heading 2. You click on modify. It will in turn, it takes you directly into your modify styles window. The style that we're making an adjustment to is heading 2. It gives us formatting information. It's Times New Roman, it's font size 16. I want to change the font size, maybe instead of it being a 16, I want to change that to maybe a 14. Also with this, I think I'm going to make it B for bold. And then what I also want to do is I want to add a border. Okay. And adding that border, we're going to click on our format button. From format, it'll give you a list of all the dialog boxes that you can go into. And we want to go into borders. I'm going to choose my line style. I'm going to choose my width, the thickness of my line, various degrees. I'll make it a little bit thicker. And I'm going to click at the bottom here and I can see my border pop in. If we click on OK, and if we click on OK again, guys, everywhere that we have heading 2, you can now see that it's bold and you can also see that it applied that border. That's awesome. Time saver. Now, another thing that we want to do here, I'm looking at my paragraphs. And in looking at my paragraphs, I want to put some additional spacing before the text and after the text. So as far as my paragraphs right now, the style that we're working with is our normal style. And coming over to my styles task pane, pointing to normal once again, it'll give us all the formatting information associated with normal. I'm going to click on the down arrow because I want to tell it to modify. And what I want to do is I want to put some additional spacing before the text and after the text for my paragraphs. And getting that done, we're returning right back to a format button. From the format button, let's click on paragraphs. So in spacing, my paragraph window for spacing, I want to do 3-point before and I want to do 3-point after. So it just gives me that additional spacing between my paragraphs. When we click on OK and click on OK again, guys, if you notice between my paragraphs now, I have that additional spacing. What I also want to do, I want to go in and I want to put an image in. I need a picture in my document. So I'm going to go to insert very quickly. Let's get pictures. I'm going to tell it from stock. And I'm looking for a picture for peas. So let's look for peas. And maybe we'll get this guy here. We'll tell it okay. I'm going to resize it. Keep in mind you always resize from your corners. Resize from your corners, it keeps the picture proportional. Okay? So I have my image. And I'm also going to go in and just change my wrapping style. Instead of it being in line with the text, I'm going to make this one, I'm going to make it tight. So see how the text adjusts. Okay, so that looks awesome. I also said that in working here, I have this list here. So my list from plant down to pick, I would prefer to have that in a table format. So instead of us having to go in and type this information all over again or cut and paste it, what we're going to do is we're going to convert this text to a table. So that means we're just going to highlight our information that we want in our table. And keep in mind our data is separated by a tab. That arrow represents a tab. I know it's a tab because I have it on my show and hide. We select our data that we want to convert to a table. We're going to go to Insert. And from Insert, we're going to get our table icon. And we're going to come down, we're going to tell it to convert text to table. So let's click there. It will automatically give you the number of columns. Of course, we can add columns. Notice the number of rows is grayed out based on our data that we have. We're just going to go ahead and stick with fixed column width. And most importantly, at the bottom here, separate text at. Ours is based on a tab. If it was anything other than what was chosen here, we're typing in our other. We're going to stay with tab and we're going to tell it OK. So now guys, look at that. I'll now have my table without having to go in and reproduce this all over. I see I have these extra spaces here in my list, so I'm just going to remove those guys, just backspacing those out. Okay, so now we actually have our document. It's looking a lot better from what we started. We've applied styles, we've modified our style, we've also went in and we've converted our list into a table. But now I want to go back to my navigation pane. First, I'm going to do Control Home. And going back and getting my navigation pane, let's go back to View, working in the Show group. Let's go to Navigation. Now, I mentioned a moment ago that in working in your navigation pane, when you have heading styles applied, we can easily move through our document. I also said that you have your pages, which are your thumbnails. But one great thing about the navigation pane, sitting here where it says Search Document, and coming over to your right, you're going to have a down arrow. With this down arrow, it talks about search for more things. And clicking there, let's just say that in my document, maybe I had multiple graphics. And I wanted to quickly move from one graphic to the next one to the next one. We're going to tell it find graphics. And watch what it does, guys. It takes us directly to our image. It tells me my results. I only have one. But if I had multiple, then I have my arrow to move me up and down. I'm going to return home. And once again, that navigation, having it search for more items. Let's just say I want to search for tables. Maybe I have several tables. We can click on tables or equations or footnotes, endnotes. We click on tables and notice how it just takes us directly there. So guys, in using your navigation, you can do so much more with it besides finding a word. Okay. I'm going to close my navigation panel and I'm just going to do Control Home to take me back up to the top of my document. I'm also going to close my Styles task pane for a moment. Now, I mentioned that we can use something called reveal formatting. And working with reveal formatting, when you're not sure how your document is formatted, or also using reveal formatting, it can allow you to compare two selections. Now, in bringing the reveal formatting in, this icon is not on the ribbon. So I'm going to use my keyboard command, which is Shift and my F1 key. So the Shift F1, it brings in your reveal formatting over on the right side of your screen. And in clicking in the word give for right now, notice in your reveal formatting, the selected text is give, and it talks about formatting of selected text. It's telling me what the font is. It's bold. It's telling me the paragraph style I have applied, which is heading 1. The alignment is centered. And if you notice, everywhere that you have blue, these are hyperlinks, so it takes you directly into that dialog box. I also said that using the reveal formatting will also allow you to compare text. So I'm going to compare give, and you'll notice here it says compare to another selection. I'm going to click there. And my second selection is going to be fertilizing. So guys, with this, it's giving us the differences. The font, give is 20, fertilizing is 14. It's telling me I have a heading 2 here. It's telling me that the alignment for give is centered. For fertilizing, it's left. the outline level. One is level 1, one is level 2. So it's giving me formatting information associated with my selected text. So I'm going to deselect compare. Two other things here. In working with reveal formatting, one, I said that this icon is not on the ribbon. And this is probably something that you might want to use often. And if we're not going to remember the keyboard command, then maybe we'd want to put this icon on the quick access toolbar. And another thing, as far as working with styles, to be able to identify what style you have in your document, you'd find yourself clicking in your text and then looking over at the Styles task pane. So I'm clicking and fertilizing. I'm looking at the Styles task pane. And in doing so, it tells me, I'm in heading 2 right now. By clicking give, I'm in heading 1. If I click in my paragraph, piece grow, I'm in the normal style. Now, instead of having to keep looking, left to right, it might be a lot easier to bring in something called your outline pane. And working with the outline pane, the only time you see the outline pane is when you're working in draft view. And I know a lot of us don't work in draft view, but this is a really quick way of helping you quickly identify what styles you have applied in your document. I'm going to close my styles task pane. I'm also going to close my reveal formatting. So we're going to do two things. One, we're going to add the reveal formatting to your quick access toolbar. And two, we're going to go in and turn on that outline pane. Now to make these two things happen, we're going to go to File. And from File, we're going to come all the way down and click on Options. And clicking on Options, it will in turn move you into your Word Options window. Now instead of working with General, let's first go to Quick Access Toolbar. Let's add that icon reveal formatting. Over in the middle pane here, you're going to see where it says popular commands. So instead of working with popular commands, we're going to click there. And guys, I want to work with all commands. And in working with all commands, once it's finished populating, you'll see it puts it in numerical first and then alphabetical order. In this middle pane, I'm just going to type, I'm going to click. I'm going to click in the middle pane and I'm going to type in the letter R to take me down to my R's. And now we're just going to scroll down and find reveal formatting. These options they're all listed in alphabetical order for us. So let's get down to reveal formatting. We're almost there. Okay. So we have reveal formatting. We're going to click on the add button. That adds it to the quick access toolbar. Now, the other thing that I want to do, I was talking about that outline pane, being able to quickly see what styles are applied in your document. And getting that done, instead of working with quick access toolbar, we want to come and click on advanced. And in working on advanced, you have your various headings. Editing options as we move through. We're looking for, the category that we're looking for is display. And under display, you're going to see where it talks about show area pane with and draft and outline view. And right now that increment is 0, so we're going to change it to a 1. And once we make our necessary changes here, we're going to click on OK. So now, guys, on my quick access toolbar, I just happen to have mine sitting below the ribbon. This is my icon for reveal formatting, so I can easily turn it on and turn it off. Now, the other thing I was speaking of as far as working with that outline pane, being able to quickly identify where styles are or what styles are applied in your document. So that means we have to change our view. Clicking on our View tab on the ribbon, going to our Views group, let's go into Draft. And now you'll see this little pane over on the left side. You can also resize this to a little divider line. So now where it talks about give peas a chance, I can see that's heading 1. I can see fertilizing is heading 2. I can see my paragraphs are normal, and as I move through, looking at my pane, I can see exactly what style is being applied. So this is a quick way, instead of having to keep looking back and forth at your styles task pane. I'm going to change my view back to print layout, and we're right back where we started from. Now, the last thing that I wanted to mention here is working with your smart lookup. So I want to look up this word sewing. Okay. So I'm just going to right click on it. And in right clicking on it, you're going to see what talks about search sewing. And then your search panel will appear over on the right side of your screen. And for right now, it tells you what you're looking for. My results, it gives me a definition of the word. Notice we have the little microphone here, which allows us to get the enunciation of the word. It also gives us website information as well. But sitting here where it says sewing, which I'm pointing to, we're looking at everything that it did for us. But where we have all, if we click on all, maybe I'm only concerned with just website information related to sewing. And notice, guys, it gives us all this information related to. Or instead of web, maybe I want to come in and get media. Maybe I want to insert an image in. It gives me various images I can work with. We have the little three little dots, more actions. Gives us information about the picture, or we could just click on it and insert it into our document. I'm going to close this search pane. These are the various tips and tricks that you can use as far as formatting. Remember, keep in mind, reveal formatting. We use the keyboard command Shift F1, but I also showed you how to put it on the quick access toolbar. Keep in mind, we use the F4 key. The F4 key repeats your last command. Now, there's one other that I didn't do. It talks about jumping to your last edit. So the last change that I made in my document, I want to quickly jump there. And in doing so, the keyboard command to do that is using your Shift F5. So I just used my Shift F5 and it took me right to the last thing that I did, which was converting text to a table. If I do Shift F5 again, you'll see that it just moves you to the bottom of my table. So it's a quick way of going to your last edit. Guys, I do want to thank you for taking the time to listen to my word tips and tricks. I hope to see you in future classes. And also, we do have, as far as our classes, we have 6-hour classes, which goes a little more in depth with these various topics. And we also have 3-hour classes as well. Our website is softtechdc.com. And don't forget to click on like and subscribe. Thank you again.